You're listening to The Bounding Box, where we talk about web development, geo development, and everything in between. All right, welcome to The Bounding Box. I got a great guest here today. A guest I've known, oh my gosh, going on over 20 years now. Yeah, Warren Roberts. So Warren, please introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, what's your problem?
All right. Well, I've been doing this for many bloody years. Rihondo for 20 years. And like today, I'll be speaking to some biology students, and then because I like to go around to different programs, because everyone's targeting their general ed courses. But as you know, you need to get some real skills to be qualified, especially even like a student intern. So the first question I ask Renee is to my students today when I see them. No, actually, the first thing I do is this. I give them 20, 30 slides of my projects. No words, just pictures of really cool stuff, right? Everything I do. And then I go around the classroom. Actually, no, the first thing I do is I go around the classroom and try to guess each student what program they're going to go into. What's the field of study, right? So I go around to every student, maybe look at the boots. Are you a welder? I try to figure out what their background is and then what field they're going into. And then I show them my slides of all these different projects from all over the world, all different types of projects. And then I ask them to guess my degree. And you know what, Renee? No one can guess my degree. And the point I was trying to show the students is it doesn't matter what your bloody field is in. You need some bloody skills, and GIS is applicable anywhere. Doesn't matter what field.
Yeah.
So then I go on to say that, okay, you got three guesses. They try to guess it. Most people don't guess what my degree is. And I tell them that at one point I was going through Cal Poly Pomona as a student trying to be an architect. And then the career counselor told me, Warren, your grades are just really crap. And so they said, you know what, you should go into landscape architecture. And I did, and I don't regret it. I got 2 degrees in that, one from Cal Poly Pomona and one from University of Oregon. And it is essentially a landscape geographer. So a landscape architecture, I would see as landscape geographer. We work with what we do today in GIS, working with layers. We would do it with Mylar overlays. And the amount of time we put into this, Renee, oh my God. People today must have so much time on their hands. It's crazy. Drawing contours by hands, watersheds, it's amazing what we can do today. So that's my background as far as my degree. And then I also, of course, people say, where are you from? And I say, well, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. Then they say, what's that? And then I have to go and say, okay, well, give a guess. And so they say Germany. Often they say Australia, South Africa. I did grow up in South Africa as a kid for 3-4 years, but I'm originally from, and I asked the students, where is the world's best football team? And they should get the answer right away. It's actually Liverpool. I sometimes ask them, where are the 3 Beatles from? And then that's a trick question because there's 4. And I've even had some Renee ask me, is that like a boy band?
Oh, that hurts, Warren, it hurts.
Anyway, that's a little about me, about my background, and I have a lot more to that, but I want to go on to other questions if you what you have.
Yeah, sure thing. So like you said, you've been an educator for quite a while here, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I attended your classes way back when through work. They sent us. We were getting really serious about our GIS at the county, and they were like, okay, these guys need to know more than what they know, right? They were just kind of giving us the software and giving us the manuals that came with it, and we were left to our own devices there. So we kind of rallied and we said, hey, can we get some training here? Something a little extra. They sent us to you, and it was a great experience. I can honestly say that for ArcMap and all the early GIS I did, Warren taught me what I know, man. He gave us all the tricks too, not just what they teach in the Esri training, but Warren had all the really good tricks and stuff to get things into ArcMap data that maybe wasn't easy to come by and stuff, which is really great, and all the really good stuff. So really appreciative of that. And Warren's got a really great background in education and teaching GIS to kids. So I'm really curious, with GIS has changed so much just from the days of opening up ArcMap, putting some data in there, and try to create good looking maps and maps that tell good stories with the data that you got, to where we're at today. We're still trying to get the same end goal, but so much has changed now. There's a whole lot that students need to do, and I see this even when I get the interns. We get summer interns and stuff that come in, and just the what they probably, they don't need to know everything, but it's nice when they have some good background or some knowledge that they can apply to the skills. How do you think that's changed over the years to today?
Yeah. So I tell my students, if someone comes in and says that they know everything about GIS, you call campus security. Like something's up with that, right? And I don't know everything about GIS, that's for sure. But what's important for me to know, Renee, is all the bloody applications because, like I said, many of my students come from all different areas. And then they'll say, Warren, how come you're telling us that GIS is needed or is a good background skill to have if I'm going to work as a crime analyst? Well, I can tell you that, Renee, over the many 30 years almost, and you've been to a few of them, we have these advisory boards each year. And the advisory boards are made up of industry professionals. And those folks suggest, they look through our curriculum, they identify what we need, what we're missing. They tell us, hey, Warren, you need to get this technology. And I say, thank you very much. So I get the technology. So I have a lot of input from industry. And then in doing so, then I can then pass that on to the students who are maybe going into like civil engineering. And I say, if you're going to be a civil engineer, you need some GIS. Of course, you need some CAD. Having a background in that too, I would suggest either MicroStation or AutoCAD. Some folks don't really care about it, but a lot of the input for GIS comes from CAD. So I have worked with industry for many years, a high from industry. I have some people come and say, Warren, I have a doctoral degree. I can teach that class. They say, well, I don't care if you got a doctoral degree. There's three requirements in teaching GIS. One is you got to be able to entertain a class because they're coming most of the time from work. So you have to entertain them. And then you have to be able to show the application. I mean, show them why it's important. And then third of all, you need to know the material. So I get a lot of my background comes from industry. And you know what? I don't have a GIS degree. I don't have any GIS certificate. I was GISP at one point. I just forgot to pay the fee. Now I have to take the exam. But I don't really need it. And people say, well, Warren, you need a doctoral degree. Well, the only reason why I want a doctoral degree is because of the Beatles song, Dr. Roberts. Other than that, I think people that have been working in the industry, like you, Renee, and other people like Nick Francino or Mark Greninger or Sean Christian, these people have been out in the field. They know how this is important and work with real data. So those are the folks that we want to have teach all classes at the community college, for example, where I am at Rehondo. Right now, I'm on sabbatical, so I have Sean Christian. If you know him, I know you know him. Sean Christian, originally from LA Sanitation. Roger Flores, he's with LA data computer IT services for the county of LA. He
Mm-hmm.
was my student many years ago.
Oh wow.
And I also have Summer Roberts. She's my daughter. She's teaching for me now too, and she does GIS for wineries and mapping and all of the real estate with the CAD and all of the compliance with EPA and Cal Fire. So she's really enjoying that, going up and down the state, and she also teaches that too. So these are folks that have real experience. So again, I meet with industry each year just to make sure that what we're teaching is in line with industry. And we were one of the first ones to move over to ArcGIS Pro. I was waiting for LA County Public Works. They said, Warren, we've made the move. So I just switched right over to ArcGIS Pro. And you can't even start ArcMap on our computers anymore. And when people are using ArcMap, what I do is I tell them, don't say that out loud. It's really embarrassing. So
Right.
over the past number of years now, I've done a lot of work with industry apart from teaching, just so that I get to know the material so I can pass it on to my students. So every crime analyst for LAPD is my past student. I did all of the curriculum, all of the teaching of the material down at the headquarters at the command center downtown LA over several months. The same for LA County Sheriff. And they say, well, Warren, you're not a crime analyst. I'm saying that's true. But mapping a crime is saying is mapping some back guano or human waste in San Francisco, which I do, by the way. It's the same thing. Now, if you want me to be able to analyze the data, that's where you have to have that says crime analyst,
Yeah.
right? And I do teach biology this semester with students. But the thing is, I teach with a colleague, and he's the biologist, and I'm the GIS, so and the drone person. So we collaborate on teaching the material because I am not a biologist. Um, Other projects I've worked on, I do a lot of work with research. We go to Borneo, done some mapping in caves there, going 140 meters down on the ground. Oh my God, crawling through like the size of a small storm drain for like several blocks on your stomach scanning. I mean, some people will go crazy doing that. Climbing guano piles 6 stories high, covered in cockroaches. So the reason why I do a lot of this, Renee, is so I can take it back to my students. Like when I meet with my students today for biology, I showcase all those. And the idea is to share with students these different projects, how we use GIS to sort of inspire them to perhaps pick up some GIS if they're going into whatever field they're going into, or even perhaps jump ship and get an associate degree in GIS at Rio Hondo, maybe get a 4-year degree at Cal Poly or Cal State Long Beach or Cal State LA with GIS, and then there's your 4-year degree. Get some experience, maybe finish up with a graduate degree, maybe at Cal State Long Beach. They have a program there for a lot of my students go through there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or at the other school where I teach, because you know what, Renee, I also work as a librarian.
Do you
And
really?
at the Claremont colleges for the past 18
Oh,
years. And
I
why
did
do I
not know
work as a
that.
librarian? because, because faculty and students want to incorporate GIS into the research, the projects. So tomorrow meeting students with basic survey 1, 2, 3 questions. But my other part-time job is also I direct and chair and teach at the graduate school in Claremont colleges. And there, what we have is a GIS data science master's and doctoral and PhD. So I
Oh,
think I
wow.
answered a lot for that question. Sorry, Renee.
No, no, that's great. That's a whole lot of background. That is really amazing. I didn't know about the librarian part. I knew you were doing some teaching at the Colorado colleges, but I didn't know it was the librarian role there. That's really neat.
Hmm. Data librarian,
Data
yes.
librarian. Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm. And you know what? Data is GIS. We just add another dimension. And
Yeah.
last year, a year ago, I went to India trying to recruit students. It's kind of hard right now recruiting international students because of restrictions on visas. But, Renee, I went to a university in Punjab called Lovely Professional University. Could you imagine getting a degree from a university like that? And Renee, I went to one program, and that one program, data science, 50,000 students in one
Oh
program.
my gosh.
I know, 50,000 in one program. And you know what, Renee? It just blew my mind. No GIS. Oh my God.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing because you hear all the time people talking about how do you apply GIS? Do I specialize in GIS or however it is? And yes, you can. And if when you do that, you can really apply your skills to all these different industries. And it's also beneficial for people that maybe are specializing in some field to get those skills as well because they can also apply them in their industry. It's always a tool that can be used regardless of where you go or where you work. It's just such a vast array of knowledge you can apply and bring those skills to wherever you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell my students that they need some marketable skills. I mean, if you're going through a 4-year school paying $3,000 a unit on a Mac often, and you're about to graduate, well, what do you want to do with that degree when you finish? Well, I don't know. Well, you should pick up some GIS, and early on the better. And you know what, Renee? I tell students never, ever get a geography degree. However, however, if you had GIS, then definitely do it. My daughter got 2 degrees in geography. I would get a degree in geography, but you have to have GIS. And like you said, if you have a 4-year degree, geography or civil or data science, and you have GIS, you can go work for LAPD. Well, maybe I want to do a bit more. I want to work with the crime analyst and do more work on the analytical side. Well, just take 3 semesters over at Cal State Fullerton and get your crime analysis certificate. Then you could be working alongside the crime analyst. Often you may be supporting them. I know a lot of people at LAPD that actually do the GIS and supporting the crime analysts. Or maybe you go to work at the county and you have some CAD background in GIS. You're going to work in public works, and maybe you have maybe you have a degree in English, but you have the GIS experience, the classes, and the CAD. And you need to. So for students, I recommend that they try to find they go to conferences. They attend these different events, maybe at Esri or down to San Diego. Go to the user meetings locally. You need to network with industry and get to meet people because in the real world, it's who you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You made my heart skip a beat there. 'Cause I got my master's geography over at Cal State Fullerton there. I was like, oh, but I was already doing the GIS.
No.
The LA County
Um.
paid for it, so it was
Yeah.
fine, right?
Yeah.
Which was
I mean, I would get a geography degree too, but I'd have GIS. If I was to do it again too, and I'd probably get either maybe I'd be a crime analyst or a librarian. Librarians are very techy, and
that sounds really cool. I hadn't
yeah,
looked into that. That sounds like a really awesome role.
yeah. So one of the things I've been doing lately, because I've been at the 4-year private schools. This Claremont's got 6 consortium colleges there. Every year I go down to Costa Rica. We have this field station down there. It's a really beautiful field station. Brand new dorms in the jungle. And students go out in the field. They got to wear snake gaiters because some of the very world's poisonous snakes there. It looks cool on them, the snake gaiters. I don't know if they work because no one's been bit yet. But I'm thinking, I need to make this available for the community college because everyone should have that opportunity to go elsewhere. So I'm on sabbatical this year, last semester, and this semester to make a course for Rehondo to go down to Costa Rica starting this July. The requirement is you need an introduction to GIS, and the other requirements are, let's see. Anyway, this program it's a field course in a class, so it's accredited class. And normally some schools, let's say like Citrus, may have it for like $5,000 to $6,000 to go down to Costa Rica. I mean, I've gone down there for $250 round trip. You don't need to spend that amount of money unless you're going to go out to some attractions where you spend a lot of money going to different hotels. My goal is for $1,500 per student, not including airfare, which is like $300 something, is to take them down Costa Rica, go by to a volcano, check that box off, coffee farm, and then go down to the field station where you can't spend any money going around inside of a jungle with monkeys around.
Yeah, exactly.
The goal is, right, Renee, is like you've done before. When people are interviewed, they're going to say, okay, there's your degree, good, look at your LinkedIn. You all need a LinkedIn. And then they say, do you have any projects cool that you can share with us? Could you imagine saying, yeah, I was in Costa Rica. We did some remote sensing with drones. We did some LiDAR at the surface, did some hydrology. And that'll be like a really good thing for people to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
in an interview. So these are the opportunities that I want to give students at the community college. Not only have people at the 4-year schools, private schools, so it should be at a community college level. So that's what my sabbatical has been for one of my last bucket lists that I have. Like one of them was bringing all this drone business
Uh-huh.
to teaching because when I was at Cal Poly Pomona to do surveys, we would use metal chains and we had to look at temperature of the weather to determine how it expands. And now what we do is we use drones, and I take students in the field to do this, to give them some hands-on, because when we are normally teaching a class, even though it's on campus, they like to attend on Zoom, which I understand, because many people work or they live in Lancaster, right? So even though it says it's on-campus class, I still let people attend on Zoom. However, I try to put some weekends together or Friday if it's a county person's. Normally they can attend Friday maybe or Saturday to come out to the campus or to a field station in Claremont or somewhere else to get some hands-on so we can get to meet each other and network and get some mentors maybe. So the drone work I've incorporated into my teaching back in 2012. my dean said, "Oh, we don't need drones. We can buy the data." Well, that's not part of the assignment is to get out in the field, know the weather, what type of sensors you carry. We are doing some LiDAR yesterday with students. It just blows my mind. So one of the other projects I worked on is Coachella Music Festival. Back during COVID days, they said we need to think a different way of laying this out other than just using maybe tape measures and a rolling wheel. So over the period of maybe 3 years, each year we would do the Coachella Music Festival I bring a student or two out, and then we survey that bloody thing with maybe a quadcopter or a fixed wing tied to ground control points to where the image is to so much detail it can zoom in and see a quarter on the ground. That's given to the event planners, and they use the Vectorworks. I'd rather use Autodesk, but they use Vectorworks to lay out the design, and then they throw it back. Then we bounce it up onto the cloud. So there it is on your field app, and then you take out your EOS or whatever GPS you're using, and then jump on that hover wheel, and then just go around, just stake it out. Stake out the tent locations, the parking, the event stages. So I've done a number of them over the many years, including Stagecoach, Power Trip. The ones we do lately is the Lightning in a Bottle in Bakersfield.
Oh wow, okay.
That's my favorite, Renee.
Really?
In the end of May. It is amazing. 5 days of house music. So we do all of the help with getting this design from the CAD onto the cloud, onto the ground. And then my students do some field work. And for the past couple of years, my students have been getting paid to do this. Just a couple, two or three students each time. But these are the type of experience that I want my students to learn, to see that these are really applied, practical, good skills. And furthermore, it's fun getting outside, right?
That's the best part, right? We didn't
Yes,
have
it
all
is.
the even back when I was in school. We didn't have the there were no drones, no consumer drones back then. So I missed out on all that fun stuff. But I remember seeing you doing the trips out to Catalina with the students using the drones to do some mapping and everything out there. And I was like, man, that is awesome. I
Yeah.
would love to do that.
Yeah, that was Anacapa, and then we did it a few times. And then we take the students down in kayaks, go around the island. Some students don't like sharks, but they're tiny.
Yeah,
And then
tiny.
Santa Cruz Island.
Yep.
So this one for Costa Rica is like this is going to be super cool. So it's a beta class this summer, and I'm going to be offering it each summer just to give people equal opportunity. And people think, oh, you're going to go lay down on the beach. Well, I should show you where we go. We go into a cave along the beach, and last time I was there, we duck down, come up on the other side, pitch black, floating guano, cockroaches, and my buddy steps on a caiman. I mean, those are the type of places I like to take students out into these really places that they won't forget.
Yeah, exactly. That's always thing too. When you're I can't speak for everyone, I guess, but a lot of people I talked to when I was working in county in the office and everything, it's always like, man, I never get to go anywhere. I never get to go on the field. I'm here at my desk, just kind of doing the work that I got to do and whatnot. But if you have the chance, even when in a regular job, to get out in the field and work with field crews and stuff, I mean, that is just a really great opportunity. And a lot of this experience of going out and doing this work like this, really gives you an idea of, like what field crews need to do. Because this kind of work that field crews usually have to go out, do the surveying, they work with the drones, and really get an opportunity to see how all that stuff, the data that you work with to create your maps or whatever it is that you're doing in the office space, where it comes from and how it's all generated, and then process it and everything. It's really great.
Yeah, I think it's more than just where it comes from, but it's also where it goes. Because some field crews out there collect the data and pass it on to someone else. So it's kind of nice for them to know where it goes to get some hands-on experience. Okay, they give you an app to use in the field. Well, how do you create it? It's bloody easy, especially like the Survey 123. You can make one of them on a long stop sign. I mean, it's amazing. And so, and often in my classes, I'll have surveyors who will look like they'll intimidate me, but I can also ask them, what are the name of the trees outside? And I know my tree types, so we can play around like that. So I have a lot of different folks in my classes, along with students just out of high school, so they can get ideas from other people in the class what maybe they want to go into. Also, maybe find a mentor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what, Renee, I know that you like to code and things like that. I cannot code, sorry. But that's okay. It's a requirement as part of our certificate because you have to know how to code. Not you don't need to be proficient, but you need to know if you needed to customize something. But so like I said earlier, I do not know everything and I don't care to know everything. Um, and I like to be able to learn from my students and my students, especially also at the graduate school. I mean, they really intimidate me, but they have no idea what GIS is. So
Oh, that's
that's how
amazing.
it's fun doing projects like that. Like I go out do some field work with my colleagues, and I say, Warren, I mean, he says, I say, Don, you need to learn some GIS. He says, why do I need to? Because I have you, right? So he's the biologist. You got the computer science person there. We got the other ologist over there. So it's a team of people. I mean, we work together, right? We're not in one silo, and that's what I have a lot of fun using GIS doing this type of work and teaching.
Oh, that's awesome, Warren. Awesome.
Hmm.
So I want to be a little respectful of your time here, Warren. And you got a lot. You got class to get to.
Oh, I don't get paid for these classes, but I'm going to go entertain these students, and I'll do exactly what I shared with you. And I also have a jokes for them, some dad jokes, and that's normally I use at the end so I can clear them out the classroom.
Awesome, Warren. I do want to ask if you have any last minute words of advice for listeners out there, people getting into the field, people that interested in the field, or anything else like that. Wherever you want to drop.
So if I was to get another degree, maybe data science, I try to learn as much as I could about AI because I show my students. I say, you're going to wait for like 2 days for me to get back to you for help. Just take out your bloody phone, hold up ChatGPT to the screen. It'll read your screen and walk you through how to do the step. I mean, it's simple. And then you say, oh, AI is going to take my job. It is going to take your job. So you better learn how to use it. So you got to keep up with these different trends. Whether I would definitely get some drone license. I mean, put that on your LinkedIn too, right? Well, I don't know. Well, I'll be using drones. Well, drones are not going anywhere. Just like the GPS, when Renee was my student many years ago, we were plus or minus 20 feet. The GPS I
Yep.
was using yesterday, Renee, was 0.002 meters
Oh yeah.
accurate. Oh my God. And then surveys will say, well, that's my job. I say that's true. You're going to be delineating the property boundaries because if you're off a net's accuracy, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. For me, I'm just locating like dead body or an ant nest or a wood rat or some type of tree or a storm drain. I mean, we don't need to be net's accuracy, but 0.002 is pretty accurate. So if I was a student, uh, especially in our Southern California area, I'd take a CAD course. If you're going to work at the county, probably a microstation. A lot of schools have that. Definitely get a GIS certificate. Even if you're going for a geography degree, you may have a few classes, add on a GIS certificate, and then you can always transfer to four-year school following. And a lot of classes can transfer. I would definitely get my FAA 107 drone license. That enables you then to fly drones commercially and get paid. But anyone could pass a bloody exam. Just 60 questions, real easy. And my colleague Sean Christian teaches that over at the Rio Hondo College. But I would definitely get my FAA 107 exam. But anyone can pass the exam, and it's so bloody easy to fly a drone today, Renee. So um, you get paid crap to fly a drone. So you need somewhere to apply it. So that's where you can apply it to GIS. So the use of drones for me is in biology or in GIS. All
Oh,
right.
that's awesome. Awesome advice, Warren. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'll see you next time.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the Boundary Box today. Please subscribe for more content.